Okay, we are back, Mr. Jeffries, Algebra 2 with stats. We are doing our second day of our unit circle. If we haven't done so, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell. Got lots of views on some of my latest videos, but not a lot of likes. I mean, if you're going to use me as a resource, at least say, hey, you like it. Okay, you like it. Now, shh. Okay, so real quick question. As we're doing number one, or A, what type of triangle is this? It is a right triangle. Okay, very good. It's a right triangle. What else is it? What type of right triangle is it? It's a 30, 60, 90. Okay, now, okay, it's a 30, 60, 90. Now, we kind of went over this a little bit yesterday. I put that little kind of blip up from Monday's notes, and Monday's lesson has 73 views. Just leave a like. Nice comment. Okay, so now, who remembers the rules for the sides of a 30, 60, 90? If this is 1, or whatever the hypotenuse is, this short leg is half. Okay, so guess what? Guess what this is? 1/2. Wow. Okay. Now, also this long leg, how do we find the length of the long leg? Well, we take the short leg and we multiply it by root 3, the square root of 3. Okay. When we do this, we actually will get root 3 over 2. And there's our answers. Okay. Well, I chose the really dark blue paper today because I'm really tired of, like, at the end of the day picking up like 20 blank note handouts. And I was like, you know what? If people aren't going to use them, just make it hard on them. Okay. Or you could get fancy and get some erasable pens. You still have the one I gave you yesterday? Oh, coming in hot. All right. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm not handing out food. Yeah, just put your hand back down. Okay. So, I know I do kind of feel like I need, like I kind of have the munchies for some odd reason right now. All right, so, shh. All right, shh. Now let's look at this triangle. Okay, now other than it being a right triangle, for not a, it's a 44.99, 45, 45, 90. Okay, shh. Now what do we know about these two sides? They're equal. Okay. Remember in geometry, if it has that little hash mark, that means they're the same. Okay. So this means that for us, x equals y. And then now, if we're normally we would take this side and multiply it by something to get the length of the hypotenuse. So if we multiply it to get the length of hypotenuse, what would we do to get the length of the leg? What's the opposite of multiply? Divide. Okay. And who remembers what that number may be? No? Yeah. It is a root something. It's the square root of 2. Okay, now, I know a lot of y'all probably don't remember way back when we were doing our complex numbers, but where we couldn't have I in the denominator because it was technically a square root. So are actually going to have to multiply by the square root of 2 to actually clean this up, because if we don't, the math SWAT team will come in the middle of the night, take us off site, and like make us do a whole bunch of weird stuff like proofs. Now, that leaves us with the square root of 2 on top. Okay. Couple ways you could, yeah, 1 times root 2 is root 2. Okay. That was not anything super fancy. Okay. Yeah. Now, these things right here, remember, you could actually multiply that. Say, that's the square root of 2 times 2, which is 4, and the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of 4 is not 3. Go back to Master Shifu. Okay, so that is actually our sides. That was really nice with this 45-45 triangle because we only really had to do the math for one side. Okay. Some of y'all are like, I understand what we're doing. I just don't understand why. I'm fixing to have a Mr. Miyagi moment, so just hang on. Okay. All right. Is everybody good with B here? Anybody need more time? Yes and no. Yes, it maybe. So it is a right triangle. It is a 30. Oh my gosh, quit flickering. Like, I'm going to end up seizing in a second. All right. 30, 60, 90. Okay. Yeah, the X and Y are kind of flipped. So what do we know about this X? It is what? Yeah, it's half of this. So if this is 1, X would be 1/2. Okay. And then this is actually take the short leg and multiply it by root 3. So that is actually what those are. Now, are you ready? Are you ready for the Mr. Miyagi moment? No? Who does not know who Mr. Miyagi is? You've never seen the Karate Kid like from 19 Daniel San, wax on, wax off. Paint the fence. Okay? So, the reason why I call it Mr. Miyagi moment is because Mr. Miyagi had this really neat way of training somebody how to do things with karate that didn't seem obvious. Okay? So, for our moment, if I could get this to, what do these triangles have to do with the unit circle? Yes, they are. They are the little pieces of it. Okay, if you go back to A, if you remember from yesterday, I know some of y'all are like, I didn't remember. Well, guess what? You're about to. I'm going to make you. Okay, this was our pi over 6, which is 30 degrees, which had a cosine of root 3 over 2 and a sine of 1/2. That's what we were doing on that chart. Do y'all remember the chart? Do you have the chart? Okay. So yeah, this is actually this triangle that's made in that first quadrant. This is where this stuff comes from. Okay. All right. And B would actually be our pi over 4. the 45 degrees and our cosine and our sine, this one, they're both positive and they're both root 2 over 2. Okay. Some of y'all are like, holy crap, that was brilliant. You had to put on your helmet because I was going to blow your mind. Okay. And then lastly, this one was pi over 3, where our cosine is 1/2 and our sine is root 3 over 2. Now, I don't think I'm going to have a lot of people remember this, but maybe it will kind of click in a second. Our cosine on the unit circle is our what value? What coordinate value is that? X. Yeah. Yeah. Cosine was X. And then sine is our Y coordinate. Okay. Now, the plot thickens. I know you just used your teenage detective skills of stating the obvious, and then you just realize that all the cosines of these are X. The length out to the side, all the up and down was our Y. Wow. It was actually connected. They were all connected. Okay. That's kind of the big picture there. Okay. Now, believe it or not, you can actually, with these 3 triangles, make the entire unit circle on your own. That's not what we're doing later. But, okay. Now, I know on Tuesday, which we had a very short lesson, very short day, because, we had potential for tornadoes. Okay. But now we did coterminal angles. We actually had need to do radians also. Okay. Now, with degrees, it was add or subtract 360. This time it's add or subtract 2 pi. All right. Now, I did this algebraically, but there's an easier way to do this than with than this. But I need to show that anyways. All right. So if I'm given pi over 7, okay, now, FYI, all these examples are not one of the, angles that we looked at yesterday on the unit circle. Okay. I would actually have to add 2 pi. Now, I'm going to have to get a common denominator of 7. What is 7 times 2? 14. If I have 1 pi and I add it to 14 pi's, how many pi's do I have? 15 and diabetes. Okay. So my answer is actually 15 pi over 7. Now, here's the good thing about this. We also have already found the common denominator. Okay, so we know it's going to be like this. We know we're going to have 14 on top. We're going to have 7 on the bottom. Somebody was really nice and typed this out so you can fill this in. Okay, so what is 1 minus 14? Negative 13 pi. 1 minus 14. Now, all right, that is the algebra. I wouldn't say algebraic. I would say arithmetic way or arithmetic way. Well, no, arithmetic something different. But so This is what I would do. If you ask yourself, remember, there's a whole movement. There's bracelets, T-shirts, lanyards. The what would Jeffries do thing. You see it as WWJD. What would Jeffries do? Okay. So I would, on my calculator, I wouldn't put in pi. I would actually say 1 over, oh, biscuits, big fat fingers, push down a bunch of them. Okay. I would actually do this in my calculator and I would hit enter. It gives me 15 over 7. So all I have to do is just add the pi in there. Wow. Yeah, 15 pi over 7. So I just add the pi on top. Now, what if I did it the other way? Dun, dun, dun. Minus 2. Negative 13 pi. Look at that. Wow. It's if I was a wizard, I would be a lot less stressed. Because that would be awesome if I was a wizard, because I would like do something to like shut down all your electronics that people are using to not pay attention to in class, and you know be able to force the information in your head like we were connecting you to the matrix. Okay, be awesome. I know, I would be something else. I would be a wizard. It would be Mr. Jeffries' uh, School of Mathematics and Wizardry, or Wizardry. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to find the coterminal radians of pi over 5. Okay. So in my calculator, I'm going to say 1 over 5 plus 2. I get 11 over 5. So actually, this answer is 11 pi over 5. Now I got to do the negative version. 1 over 5 minus 11. I get, oh, what I do 11? Just can't have nothing. Okay. Negative. Wait, what is, God, I swear I hit the 7. My calculator gave me the wrong answer. Spoons make me fat. All right. So negative 9 over 5. So this would be negative 9 pi over 5. Okay. So let's look at this one. We have 5 pi over 8. So 5 over 8 plus 2. 21 over 8. So this is 21 pi over 8. Negative 11 pi over 8. Okay. And then lastly, okay, we have negative 3 over 5 plus 2. Okay. So I get 7 pi over 5. Okay. Now I got to do the negative one. Negative 3 over 5 minus 2. Okay. What does that mean? Precious. Okay. Negative 13 pi over 5. Okay. Now, that was a lot less painless than you thought it was going to be, right? Especially after when y'all saw the first ones, you're like, holy crap, he said a word that I don't like. It said common denominator. Ah! Some of y'all had flashbacks to like trying to do your math homework in elementary school at the kitchen table, and you're teacher probably couldn't grade it because it was tear stained from being yelled at and everything. I understand. I understand. Okay. Now, this is what I need you to do. I need you to flip your paper over and write this down. Escribe por favor en sus papeles ahora. Okay. So, what I'm trying to do today is to clear up some of the things from yesterday where I had a lot of what I call the who farted face, where uh, y'all are, you know, y'all are seeing these answers and you're like, how the heck did he get those? Okay. I just made them up. I just went around just willy nilly. I was doing math like a hippie, just whatever. No math, just vibes. Okay, so no math, just vibes. Yeah. All right. So if we were doing this one, which we are, we're going to have 1/2. Now, remember, when it's divide fractions, we change it, right? Keep, change, flip. Okay. All right. So the twos cancel. Pew. And we get 1 over root 3. Now, can we have a square root in the denominator? No. Okay. I think it's perfectly fine, but other people said no. Okay. And they're weird. Okay. So we actually have to multiply the top and bottom by root 3. So on top, we're going to have root 3 and then 3. Okay. So if you had that when you were filling it out on your chart yesterday, that's where some of this stuff is coming from. Okay. That's where some of this stuff is coming from. It's coming from, hey, we've got this right here. This is what's happening, yada, 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 yada. Okay. So, does that kind of, sort of, maybe clear up just a little bit from yesterday from that? Maybe. I know I just told y'all to write it down. Don't worry about why it's this answer. Just write it down. Okay. But then I saw there were some people that were just eagerly wanting to know why. I just got to know. It's just the burning question of the math philosophy. Why? Yeah. Hmm. Oh. All right. Now, here's what's funny. We're not going to do this one because we actually already did just kind of do it. Pew. Yeah. Shh. Now, so here's what's funny about some of these. I had a lot of people that was like, how is this possible? Listen, violence against animals is bad, and I don't need y'all talking about beating somebody's donkey in class because it makes it, when you talk about beating somebody's donkey in class, it actually makes you look like the donkey. Okay. Yep, figured out. So remember, we're going to do keep, change, flip. Now, some of these were kind of obvious yesterday. A lot of these were not very obvious. Okay. When you do this, anything divided by itself is 1. So that's where we got a lot of these ones from yesterday. There's too many 2s. Well, they're making a sequel to the movie the 2nd of November of 2020. It's called the 22nd of November 2022. Okay. Now, that is all we have for today. I'm fixing to make sure your homework is live. Don't forget, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell. Good stuff, good things. Roll Tide. Yeah, and yesterday's homework was actually more than one also. After you got the water. Yeah. Well, it's hot and it also smells like something else, and we'll not want to talk about that right now. No, not like that.